If I was looking to buy an item on Poshmark and you had it for sale, do you think I would buy it from you or from someone else? In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how I buy on Poshmark, what I'm looking for before I actually make a purchase. Would your closet make the cut? Are you doing these things to ensure that you get more sales on Poshmark? Let's get into the minds of buyers and see how we can improve as sellers based on buying behavior. Be sure to watch till the very end of today's video so that you can find out exactly how I make a purchase on Poshmark. Like, what's my step-by-step process for determining how I'm going to buy something from someone on Poshmark. You might be surprised. You may change some of your Poshmark selling strategies as a result. What's up, resellers? I'm Rebecca, and you're watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thanks for joining me today. If you're new here, hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm a semi-full-time reseller on Poshmark and ThredUp. I dabble in a few other things, and this channel is all about reselling and how to make more money on Poshmark, sell clothing on Poshmark, Poshmark tips and tricks, all of that great stuff to help you become a better reseller. That sounds good to you. I hope that you will subscribe. Okay, let's jump right in. So there are 7 things that I want to share with you today about what I look for when I'm making a purchase on Poshmark. And then stay tuned till the end because I'll share with you my exact step-by-step buying process. The first thing that I look for is when the Posher was last active. This is something that you can easily check by going into their closet and going into the About section, and Poshmark will actually list the last active point for that Poshmark user. So it might say last active this hour, it might say hours ago, it might say a date that's several days ago. You just don't know. But for me as a buyer, I want to know that if I ask a question, the person is going to be checking the app frequently to answer my question. If I'm thinking of sending an offer, I want to know that the person is going to look at my offer in a reasonable amount of time. Because if they don't, now I'm just in a holding pattern and I can't buy that item from them until I know if they're going to approve my offer or accept my offer. And then I can't really go in and make an offer to somebody else. I don't want to end up with 2 things. So for me, it's extremely important right at the beginning when I'm looking for items. If I find an item that I like, I'm checking when was this particular Posher last active. So I have a better understanding of how attentive they are going to be either to my question or to my offer or to shipping out the item. Now that brings me to number 2. Number 2 is when does Poshmark say they typically ship the item? So Poshmark actually has a rating. Sometimes it says less than a day. Sometimes it says 1 day. Sometimes it says 3 days. The goal for me is for a person to ship in 2 days or less. I feel like that's a comfortable time frame to where a person can ship a few times a week. They're going to take an entire week to ship me my order. I don't want to buy it from them. Like, it doesn't give me confidence that that's going to be a smooth, positive transaction. If they're not shipping every couple of days, I don't want to buy from them. The third thing that I look for are the photos. So this is pretty obvious. Everyone on Poshmark knows that you need to have decent photos, especially us as sellers. But there's a few things that I particularly look for as a buyer that we may not consider. So the first thing is how the item is presented. Whether it's hanging up or whether it's a flat lay, I definitely don't want to see it on the floor. I don't really want to see it on your bed, especially if the bed isn't made. That's a big turnoff for me. But I just want to see that the item is presented well. If you took the time to lay it out nice and flat, to button all the buttons, to zipper the zipper, to make sure that it's hanging straight on the hanger, that shows me that you will probably have also taken good care of that item, whether it's yours or whether it's something that you're reselling. So for me, seeing how the item is presented in the photos is a big indicator of other factors. And so I look at that really big time. Now, the next part of the photos is how many photos are they sharing with me in the listing? If there's just one, I'm probably not going to look much further. If it's a handful to, the full amount, I'm going to continue to look through those photos. I'm going to continue to consider this item. But if it's just one or even 2 or 3, I don't bother, because to me, that's not enough photos to show me the quality and show me everything there is to know about this item. And so I don't want to deal with that person because I feel like they might be hiding something from me. What is it that they're not taking a photo of? Now, that doesn't mean that they're purposefully and dastardly, trying to hide a flaw from me. It could just be that they think 3 photos are enough and they're in a rush and they just do it and throw it up. That could be perfectly innocent and honest. But for me, I don't know enough, so I can't make any decisions decisions on that item when there's only a couple of photos. So as far as a seller goes, you should be taking away from this thought, I need to provide more photos. I need to make sure that I make it look like I'm not trying to hide anything to potential buyers. The next thing is like the tags. And I know that there are a lot of people that don't want to waste time taking pictures of tags. I take pictures as a seller of all of the tags. But I think as a buyer, really the reason I look at the tags is just to make sure and verify that there's no mistake in the listing. That if they say it's Free People, it is Free People. That if they say it's Lululemon, it actually is Lululemon. I also want to see that the size is right. I, as a seller, have made a mistake several times. I list it as a size 8, but the tag says it's a size 6. And a buyer will send me a question that says, is this a size 6 or a size 8? And I say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I made that mistake. So people make honest mistakes all the time. And you just want to make sure before you go and purchase something that it is actually exactly what you want. So whether that's the brand or the size or whatever. I also want to make sure that the person takes pictures of the tags so that we're both on the same page as far as the item I'm supposed to be getting. Maybe they're selling a few different Lululemon tops and I want the gray one that's this fabric and not that fabric or whatever. I just feel like it's a way to really check both of you and make sure that we're on the same page and communicating correctly about this exact item. Now is a great time to go ahead and show me some love and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. The next thing, number 4, is description. And this kind of goes hand in hand with number 5, which is condition. So for me, I usually list the condition in the description. I actually write a sentence as a seller. Usually mine says, excellent condition with no flaws. Now, I recognize not everybody is going to say exactly what I want them to say, but I do, as far as description goes and as far as condition goes, want to see that they're making an effort to communicate with me as a buyer and not try to hide anything. So if they just write great condition, that doesn't tell me anything and it doesn't give me confidence that something isn't quite right with this item because their version of great condition may not match with my version of great condition. If someone writes no noticeable flaws, I don't consider that item because it makes me feel like they could just say, oh, I didn't notice that giant tear at the seam. And so they're trying to sell it to me anyway because they wrote no noticeable flaws. To me, that just doesn't sit well. So as a buyer, unless I really feel confident based on the photos and the description and condition description that they provide, I want to feel really confident that this item is in excellent condition with no flaws. Now, the rest of the description is important too. Are they giving me measurements? Are they telling me anything else about the buying, experience with them? Are they telling me anything more about the item, like relevant keywords or just different formatting things that I might want to know, whether it's a shirt or whether it's, a purse or whatever I might be buying at the time? I want to know all the relevant information. I want them to explain this item so that I can make sure that I feel good about the purchase. And so when someone just writes cute purse, great condition, it doesn't make me feel confident that they've really looked at the item or that they're trying to communicate with me to make me feel better as the buyer. I hope that makes sense. Like, I want to know that the seller cares about me as a buyer to tell me all the things, even if it's obvious to that person. And so that way, when I'm on the buyer end of it, I can read through all of that and feel really confident that I know what I'm getting. And I think sometimes we all, as sellers, want to save time and we're like, they could see from the photos it has cuffed sleeves. Well, yes, they could see that, but it's also nice for you to consider that maybe they're scrolling through the pictures fast, but they're going to read the description more detailed. And so if you write cuffed sleeves, that might trigger to them, oh, I don't think I want anything with cuffed sleeves. And then they go out of the listing. So I think there's a lot of things that you can do both with the photos and with the description to help you, but also to hinder you. And so when you're thinking about the mindset of the buyer, I just think that you should provide as much information as you possibly can. And as a buyer, I'm looking for someone to be doing that. The next two, number 6 and number 7, kind of go hand in hand. The one thing is checking the solds of similar items in other closets. So if I'm looking at your closet with your Lululemon top, I'm going to still go and check comps and go to other solds from other closets for a similar item to see what the going rate is, to see what the market says is for a Lululemon short sleeve top. And so I will go and do a comp check to see what other things are selling and what they're selling for, so that I can decide if what you're selling it for is a good and reasonable price, is too high, or is a great deal. And that might determine if I make an offer or if I just buy it outright, or what that offer might be. Now, the other part of it, number 7, is the solds in that person's closet. So if I'm looking at your closet and you have this Lululemon top, I'm going to go to your solds and see if you sold any other Lululemon tops or anything else that would give me an idea as far as what are you willing to take for items? Are you prone to make a deal, or are you someone that's going to only take, and they write back prices firm, So for me, I want to know, are you selling Lululemon tops for really cheap, but you have it listed for really expensive, hoping to get that price, but really you'll take $15 instead of $40? It just kind of helps me get an idea of what you're willing to take and are you receptive to offers, basically. And so I think for someone who's maybe more shy about making an offer, this could help them because it might open the door to let them know what that person is willing to take and that it's kind of okay. Also, I do like to see if they say offers are welcome or make me an offer versus price is firm, because obviously that's, kind of a sign right there as far as if they're willing to take your offer or not. So again, as a seller, when you're thinking about the buyer, think about how they're going to view the information that you're putting out and if that's something that works well for them or not. And don't forget, we want you to watch all the way through to find out my exact step-by-step buying process, because this may affect how you do certain selling tactics to help close the sale. Today's question, comment down below and let me know, what are some things that you're looking for when you're a buyer on Poshmark? We all buy differently. We all look at different things. I would be really curious to see if you have a similar buying experience like I do, or if you look at it completely different. And if you're not so much of a buyer on Poshmark, then what is one thing that you may have learned today that you didn't think of or know before? Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about my buying process. Most of the time when I'm buying on Poshmark, whether I'm buying something to flip and resell, which I do from time to time, or whether I'm buying something for me personally, like for me or for my son, I usually have an idea of what I'm looking for. So like most people, I'm not shopping from the feed, I'm shopping from search. I'm going to go into the search bar and I'm going to type in Lululemon short sleeve top size 10 and see what comes up. And when a bunch of results come up, I only have the cover photo really to look at to make my initial decision. And so I'm going to go through and look at what comes up at the top, and I'm going to like a bunch of items that meet the cut, like make the cut the first round. So if there's 12 items that come up in the top search, I might heart or favorite 5 of them. And all the other ones, I'm like, that one looks dirty, that one's strewn on the bed, that one's not the, right color, that one looks like it's not the right size, whatever. I'm making eliminations. That's the word I was looking for. I'm making eliminations as I go. So everything comes up and I'm already going to start making eliminations. The ones that make the cut, I will go through and heart each of them and like them. Then once I do that, I'll go to my likes and I'll look in my likes view. So now I'm no longer in search view. I'm in my likes view and I'm looking to see further more about each individual item to see if they make the quote second cut. Now, I'm not doing first cut, second cut. Like I'm not doing it that deliberately, but it is how it kind of happens. Like first you'll pick out some, then you'll look at them further. Then from there, you're going to make a decision from your short list. So it's kind of the same way I hire people. But anyway, as far as my buying process goes, here's what I do. I'm usually starting with a search because I have some kind of idea of what I'm looking for. So in this scenario, let's say I'm looking for a short sleeve Lululemon top size 10. I'm going to put that in the search bar. I'm going to see what comes up in the feed. Now at that point, the search results are all I have, a cover photo. And I want to basically make like an informal elimination round. I'm going to go through and heart or like a few items that are visually appealing to me that seem like they would be a good fit just based on the cover photo. I'm not going to click into each and every listing that comes up. I don't do it like that. I pick a few that I think off the top of my head, just from looking at the cover photo, would work. Then I'm going to go to my likes and I'm going to look at each one of these further and see if they're one that I want to buy. While I'm doing that, some of the things that I look for are the things that we've already discussed. Is the person, active recently? When are they shipping? What are the photos looking like? All the things we've talked about, those are all the things that I'm considering considering. But I've already liked these items. And so in the meantime, I might get a notification right away from someone that says 10% off and discounted shipping. And so I might look at that one. So I might get interrupted by my initial elimination round by any offers that come in, because I might say, all right, well, she's offering me 10%. She's on the app right now. Let me see if that's one that I want to look at. So I do think that if you're a person that offers right off the bat, you do catch that person's attention right away when they're still on the app, and may take their attention away from someone else's item and centers it on your item. So I do think that that strategy is helpful. So I just want to put that out there right now. Now, once I kind of go through it and I'm looking at the listings and I'm kind of going deeper into it, I will click on a listing, check all the photos. I'm going to read the description. There might be a flaw that I'm not going to deal with. So I'm going to unlike that item and move on to the next one. I am a big believer in unliking. I don't like my likes to be clogged up with items that I'm no longer considering. So for me, I like a bunch of things, but then I take my likes off as I rule them out. And so I'll go through and look at the 4 other items, the 4 other Lululemon tops, and see what's left. So one got taken away because it had a flaw on it. Another one, the girl just wrote, great condition. That doesn't really cut it for me. So I get rid of that one. The other one, then there's 2 left, let's say. So those 2 still have a like on them, and I both think that they're good. That's when I'm going to go in to each one of their closets and see if there's anything else that I can bundle with this. And that might help me determine which person I want to buy from. Because let's say person A has, a gray top just like this, and person B has basically the same exact one. I would be happy to buy from either one. So now I'm at a point where I want to make the most of my shipping fee, or I just want to see what else I can get at the same time. Maybe they have a couple of other colors in the same size or style, or maybe they have leggings that I can go with, or whatever else I might be looking for. So I am going to then click into that person's closet and see if I can like anything else in their closet. While I'm doing that, I'm also considering the solds for the item in other closets, and I'm considering how much this person has sold a Lululemon top for. And that's going to determine whether or not I make an offer to person A or person B. Now, in the meantime, as I'm liking things in their closet, one of them might send me a message, or one of them might send me an offer, because now more time has passed since the initial time that I liked the item. So I'm looking at all of these things, because all of it is an indicator that that person is paying attention to me shopping in their closet, wants to make a deal or wants to make a sale because they're sending an offer or sending a comment, that they're polite and paying attention, that they're active in the app. Like, all of these things are kind of adding up to me to say person A was on it. The second I liked that item, she sent me an offer, she sent me a message, or whatever. Person B didn't do any of those things. Well, so far, person A is somebody I want to do business with, if all other things are equal. And so it's hard for me as a seller to constantly be on the app, constantly sending offers, constantly sending messages. I get that we don't want to be chained to our phones, but do consider as a buyer, when someone does send you that note, it lets them know that you're there. And so it just gives them a little bit of peace of mind and confidence that that person has recognized that you were in their closet, that you were shopping. And so I know some of us think it's pushy and some of us don't, but as a buyer lately, especially after many of the purchases I've bought that the person never says anything to me and also doesn't even ship the item in any reasonable amount of time, I've had to cancel 2 sales recently because they never shipped the item after a week. So I do think that showing up and welcoming that person to your closet, sending an offer, sending a message, showing them that they're there as close to their shopping time frame or experience is really good, and just gives them more confidence that you're a real person that will deal with their sale. So this may be different than what you have thought. This may be something that you don't do because you think it's going to bother the person. I think it's all about how you say it. But as a buyer, I appreciate when someone shows up and says, hey, here's an offer, or hey, I'm around around if you need me or anything like that. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And then at that point, someone may send me an offer and I might just take it. Someone might say, hey, when you're done shopping, let me know and I'll make you an offer. Someone might not say anything at all, but I'm still going to go through and make an offer on a bundle. Or if they don't have any other things that I want, that might kind of take them out of the running because I am looking to make a bundle. More often than not, I'm looking to make a bundle. So those are just that's just my step-by-step process of what and how I'm looking for when I'm shopping. And so it all starts with the search, and then it goes into the likes, and then it goes into what is my confidence level with this person? Can I make a bundle? Are they reaching out to me? And do I feel comfortable with this potential person? And so I do think that if you don't normally buy on Poshmark, you may want to consider making a couple of small purchases just to really see how you buy, because you may not buy the same way as me, but I do think that putting yourself in the buyer's shoes and think about what that person is thinking as they're shopping through your closet and the steps that they take can affect the selling strategies that you implement in your closet, whether it's how and when you send offer to likers, or how and when you send a note, or how and when you bundle items for people from their likes, or how and when you even have closet signs. There's a lot that you can do as a seller to help influence that sale along that you wouldn't really think about until you think about it from the buyer's perspective, or maybe even become a buyer yourself. So I really hope that you are able to take away one or two nuggets from this exercise, if you will, because we can all do different things as sellers when we put the buyer first and think about the interaction from the buyer's perspective. Buying on Poshmark has really helped me change and improve some of the tactics and strategies that I'm doing as a seller. And so the goal is for you to consider those things as well. So whether it's just based on how I am as a buyer and what I've shared with you today, or if you actually go through and buy a few things on Poshmark yourself, put yourself in the buyer's perspective and see how that can influence your selling tactics and strategies on Poshmark to make more sales. Now, there is a way for you to get even more nitty-gritty with your closet and make improvements, and that's with my DIY Poshmark closet review. So you guys all know I do Poshmark closet reviews, and that is available in my Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/Rebecca the Reseller. And those are there for someone that wants a custom video and a custom summary. The price point is a little bit more expensive. But if you're just looking to DIY, you want a self-guided experience, what I've done is created like a workbook or a worksheet or a work page, whatever you call it, where you can actually go through it and analyze your closet objectively with all of the things that I look for in a Poshmark closet review. And so that's just a digital download that you can get again at etsy.com/shop/Rebecca the Reseller, and it's called the DIY closet review. I hope you might go ahead and consider that. Thanks so much for watching today. Those are all the tips and tricks I have for you today. I really wish you all the best with your Poshmark sales, and I hope that you will consider subscribing, liking this video on your way out, and watching the next video that comes up down below. See you next time. Bye.